We've officially lost it in this household. It's only Wednesday. At least we're all laughing. We have a total mess on the kitchen table. We have laundry going in the washing machine. We've lost power to part of our house. We're not sure why. This is fine. I can still charge the computer, so we're good to go. So I just think it might be appropriate. There's a lot of important news today, but I think it might be most appropriate to start with what happened in history, which is prohibition started today in 1919. And the government thought it was a really good idea, you know, to limit the sale of alcohol. One commonly misunderstood fact is that that prohibition made it illegal for you to drink. It didn't. It made it illegal for you to sell alcohol, which led to all sorts of problems. Leif, listen to this fact, because this is a good one. Leif is not drinking. He's doing a dry January, Whole 30. I'm really proud of him. I'm not doing that. But I wanted to check out, and one of my colleagues found such a great data sheet for us. You know, are we drinking more or less than we did in the early 1900s? Turns out the government tracks how much ethanol alcohol, so pure alcohol that we drink. They're able to strip it out of, you know, okay, if you drink 25 glasses of wine a year and 20 margaritas, you know, how much total alcohol are you consuming? And it turns out that really over the last 100 or so years, we've maintained pretty steady that we drink around 2 gallons of ethanol alcohol every year. It fluctuates, you know, 2.6, 2.3, 2.2. 2 gallons, y'all. That deserves y'all. 2 gallons. It feels like a lot, but then I think about it, maybe it's not that much. No, I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends. You know, it's sort of interesting though. Okay, my son is stripping down the kitchen. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen next. Speaking of not knowing what's going to happen next, I have no idea what's going to happen next in the UK. Have you guys seen all those crazy headlines about what's happening with Brexit? Here's the reason why it matters. The UK is an important ally for the United States. It's one of the largest economies in the world. So this is why we care about what's happening. Also, it's the first separation or divorce out of the EU, which, you know, the EU wasn't around forever. It was around since the 1970s. And Theresa May, the Prime Minister, is trying to navigate this divorce from the EU. And voters, Brits, said, we don't want to be part of the EU anymore. And the job of the politicians are to figure out how to do that. Theresa May, the Prime Minister, has been trying to work with the EU for terms. They can't figure out terms of a divorce settlement. I mean, it's really like that. It's sort of, I mean, you have both sides. They're negotiating. Maybe it's not like a divorce settlement. It'd be like the divorce settlement if both sides agree, and then they go back. The lawyers for husband and wife agree, and then they go back to their clients, and the clients say, yeah, no deal. And that's essentially what happened yesterday. Lawmakers in the UK said, no deal. They're saying no deal because they feel that the deal that Theresa May has put together keeps them too linked to the EU. And the whole point of separating from the EU is to be separate from it, to have more independence. So that's one of the reasons that some of the lawmakers don't like it. So today, watch for headlines. If you're, you know, depending on when you're watching this video, around 2 p.m. Eastern time, Theresa May will face a vote. Hold on. It's hot chocolate, yeah. Hot water and little chocolate milk. Having hot chocolate today. She'll face a confidence vote. If she lost that for some reason, then she would essentially Britain would be on the pathway to electing a new prime minister. That's not likely to happen, but we still have to watch it. What's going to happen next? No one knows. We're like 70 days away from the official date where the UK is supposed to separate from the EU. So there's a lot of work to be done. So those are the reasons why you should care. Remember, big economy, important to the EU. Chaos is not good for anybody in Europe. You got Russia meddling with all sorts of things. So instability is bad for everyone. And that's what the concern is about Brexit. Is it going to cause this sort of turmoil or instability at a time when no one wants that? So one of the reasons to watch. Other thing, just last night, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand from New York announced that she's going to be running for president. She's an interesting person to watch for a couple different reasons. She's a mom. She came from upstate New York, which tends to be more conservative, than Manhattan, for example. And she's changed quite a bit as a politician. She's has more of a liberal platform than she did way back when she began. And one of the reasons why I think it's important to watch that is to watch how she sort of navigates the change that she's made as a politician. Like the Republican Party that sometimes pulls right, the Democrat Party has pulled left or more liberal, and how the Democrats figure that out for their candidate in 2020 is going to be really important, because as a candidate is more conservative, they can alienate potential voters, and as a candidate is more liberal or left-leaning, they can also alienate certain independent voters, which is cannot be good for either party. So that's one of the reasons why I think her candidacy is important to watch as well. Just sort of see, well, how's the Democrat Party, overall? Because these are people that are seeking the Democrat nomination for president. They have to do that. So, how is the party overall going to identify themselves in 2020? One of the things that most of the candidates that have announced that their intention to run have mentioned is universal health care. This is something that the Democrats talked about in the midterm election as a winning issue for them, and it seems pretty consistent so far across the board that this is something that the Democrats are really going to be talking a lot about. Meantime, government shutdown continues, no end in sight, and now we're going to get to the second pay period, where federal workers are not getting their paycheck. The IRS is calling back employees to work for free because they don't want your taxes not to be done, and they want to make sure tax refunds get to you. So that's one of the reasons that they're calling back IRS employees. But so far, no break. Nothing that's breaking anything so far with that. And then finally, I think you saw yesterday, Carol Channing died. She was a famous Broadway star, movie star, celebrity. But one of the things you should know about her is that she was the first celebrity to perform at a Super Bowl, the halftime at a Super Bowl, which is kind of a cool fact. Okay, I think we got it. I'll try to get the electricity back on the outside of my house. And just think about that on today. By the way, Prohibition ended because the government decided it didn't work, but it stayed on for almost 14 years. The government lost a lot of money, tax revenue. People didn't use the money they were using for alcohol wasn't being used for other things like they thought it was going to be. And overall, it didn't work. So it's still the only amendment that has been repealed, the constitutional amendment. So anyways, sort of interesting. I have I think an appropriate cup for today. Can you guys read this? Is it backwards? Might be bubbly. I did that for history. Okay, guys, have a great day. Let us know if you'd like to cover anything else. And if you have any questions, always email us or direct message us on Instagram or across social media. Have a great day.